What is up, everyone? It has been a while since I have done a variant live. It's been a few weeks, actually. I know last week I did Captain Marvel, which I guess was technically a live episode, but it wasn't like, where I just go through a bunch of news. I literally just talked about the Captain Marvel trailer. But today, Marvel Live, yeah, this is not Marvel Live. Variant Live is back a day late though. It was supposed to be they're supposed to be on Mondays, but to give you a rundown, guys, so you know like what's been going on, why it's kind of been chaotic with these variant lives. So the last week I've been traveling a bunch. This last week I went to Washington for Comic Con that invited me out as a guest. I was there for 4 days. I came back. Then I went to Atlanta to visit the set of The Walking Dead. That's right. AMC flew me out to go on the set of The Walking Dead. I met a bunch of the cast and crew. I got to see them film a scene. If you follow me on social media, you guys will see that I'm starting to actually post pictures from that, and I'm gonna do a video on it right before the season 9 premiere. So that's gonna be fun. So all kinds of cool stuff. So I was been gone like all of last week, and my schedule has been crazy. And I've been trying to keep up with the normal variant episodes. I'm working on a Red Hood episode for this Wednesday. That's what I'm doing today and all that fun stuff. But that's my little explanation of why things have been a little chaotic the last week, 2 weeks or so. Um yeah, that's my explanation for that. The volume is a little low. Does anyone else think the volume is a little low? I mean, I guess I could technically raise it. Let's see here. Let's see. Uh, and I raised it a little bit. So let's see if that helps. Hopefully that helps you guys. Um, yeah, let's get into it. Let's get into what the very first thing uh this good volume good? Yeah, okay, cool. Let's get into the first bit of news to talk about today. I'm a bit frazzled, you can see. It's still the morning. I haven't had lunch yet. I'm kind of just it's what time is it here in Texas? It's 11:44 here in Texas. So depending what part of the country or world you're at, it could be very different. But for me, it's approaching lunchtime. I was excited to talk about all this cool news. A lot of DC news that's come out. Anyway, let me get into the Joker. The set photos for Joaquin Phoenix Joker have been revealed, and there's a bunch of them. So there's a bunch. As I'm sure all of you know, I've been posting it on our variant Twitter, on a variant Instagram. It is it is crazy. So obviously, my thoughts on it. That's what I'm assuming a lot of you want to know. What is my 2 cents on the Joaquin Phoenix Joker? Well, first, I believe I was coming back when was I coming back? Friday. Todd Phillips, the director, posted on Instagram a camera test footage of Joaquin Phoenix and had like this like kind of happy song playing where the camera's like zooming in on Joaquin Phoenix just standing there in his like old man sweater and like uh I guess like a Joker, like a clown film was kind of like a film and light was passing over his face. And at the very end, it gets close up and you see him in his Joker makeup. And I gotta say, at first I was kind of like, I'm still kind of like a little back and forth, but overall, I mean, it's super intimidating, man, especially with the newer set phones. You know what? I'm gonna screen share with you guys. So I know all of you have probably seen it, but let me do a screen share so you could look as I talk about it. So let's see. Hold on, guys. I'm setting it up right here. The power of live. 1 second. Setting up. Okay, so I'm gonna screen share, and boom, there you go. So that is, one of the newest photos that we got of Joaquin Phoenix Joker, and it looks super intimidating. It's kind of has a Heath Ledger vibe going on, for sure. Definitely with the hair and stuff, and kind of like the dirtyish, makeup. But it's growing me. I like it. My only real complaint is the blue. So you see, I'm moving the mouse around. The blue around his eyes. If they just made that black, I think I would have loved it immediately. But we've never really seen the Joker with like, anything besides red, white, or black face paint. I mean, I'm sure there's some alternate version I'm forgetting or something or cartoon I'm missing. But overall, Joker's usually has white, red, and black face paint. Like that's how we know him. So it's taking a little getting used to seeing the blue around there. but I mean, it's super intimidating. It is super creepy. So uh, that's what this is. That's what it's meant to be. This because this movie definitely feels like it's gonna be a more of a mobster take of the Joker, like a more like I feel like almost like a Tom King X esque Joker, where he's just like this tough BA guy. But I mean, I don't even know. What to say. I like it. I do. I wish the blue was black, but I think it could work for the movie. And I look at him and I'm terrified. So I mean, that's what you want when you look at the Joker, and you also don't want to play it safe with a character like the Joker. You kind of want to push boundaries and stuff like that. Obviously, that's what David Ayer and Jared Leto did with their interpretation of the Joker. It most people would agree it didn't really work too much, but you do want to kind of push those boundaries with the Joker. He's a character who's out there and crazy, and you don't want to keep doing the same thing twice. But this seems like it's kind of going to keep, because again, it kind of reminds me of Heath Ledger Joker, I guess, with hair and dirty face paint. But it seems like it's going to take maybe cues from that and do its own thing from there. But yeah, I mean, let's see. There's more pictures of it, 'cause that was only one. Let's see what else we got here. Yeah, here's another one that I'm going to share with you guys. Just Jared posted this one. They pretty much crack all this this news here. Boom, there we go. There's another look. But yeah, I mean, he looks terrifying. I don't know, like, if I saw that coming after me with a knife or off the subway, I would poop my pants. And that's what you want with the Joker. And Joaquin Phoenix is a fantastic actor. To tell you the truth, I'm more curious to see how he's going to talk and laugh as the Joker and how he's going to act. Is he going to be more flamboyant? Is he going to be very eccentric? Is he going to be like psycho creepy? Is it going to be like tough mobster? That's what I'm most curious about. Plus, I feel like this paint might not be his final paint, or it'll kind of be like an ongoing thing. It might be changing. And I feel like he might also get a purple suit later on, because that's the other big thing. He doesn't have the purple suit. There's another picture that was released yesterday, I believe. Do I have it? I should have it. Hold on, guys. Let's see where I put this picture. Yeah, I got it. Okay, so there's another picture here. Hold on, let me set this up for you guys. It was released yesterday. I want to say yesterday. Yeah. So let's screen share this again. Boom. So this picture was released yesterday, and as you could see, you could tell a lot from this picture. So it's pretty much a cleaner version of the pictures we just saw of him. So this is, we're kind of getting a feel for, what his origin is going to be from the set videos we've seen in pictures. So it's like, okay, clearly, Joker, his name is Arthur in the movie, was a circus performer, a clown in some sort, and this is what he looks like. And then after this, let's stop sharing. Let's go to a different picture. Then after it, we get share again. We get this Joker, when he goes crazy, because it's the same face paint. He just doesn't have the wig anymore. It's just a lot more dirty and messed up and like creepier, because it's not perfect like the other one. So you could tell, like, that it's a slow transformation. He just takes, his original clown makeup when he's working as a clown, and then goes crazy with it. So I'm curious at that point, like, is this just the beginning stages of it, like the middle stage, and not the final product? Who knows? Who knows? But I'm kind of digging it. My only real gripes is, like, I don't even mind the eyebrows, like the red eyebrows right there. I don't even mind that much, as long as if this was black. Because if his eyes were black, I think it would look so much cooler. It's the blue that's throwing me off a little bit. But again, he still looks like a crazy clown. But enough of that. Final thoughts. Um, in summary, is so far I'm digging it. I have minor gripes here and there. I'll hold all final judgment till I see the movie. But overall, I'm liking the vibe I'm getting from this. He definitely looks creepy. I like that they're, going new places with it, and I have complete faith in Joaquin Phoenix. I'm just curious to see what director Todd Phillips is where he's gonna go with it. But so far, I looks like I like the direction they're going, and it seems like they're gonna have a very cool tone. So I'm excited. I just hope we get a purple suit, and the blue around his eyes turn to black. I would like that more. But moving on, staying in the movie world still, which this is a little old news by now, but I wasn't around last week to talk about it. Henry Cavill apparently might be leaving, or being pushed out as Superman. So that's been a lot, and a lot of people have been asking me, "What do you think about Henry Cavill no longer being Superman?" Well, first, it hasn't been confirmed by Cavill or his PR team and stuff, nor has it been confirmed by Warner Brothers. So it's not 100% definite that he is out as Superman. But it is definitely up in the air right now. It seems like everything's up in the air. We don't know where it's going to go one way or another. But as far as if, it comes out today or tomorrow that, oh no, it is 100% official, he is out as Superman. What do I think? I'm kind of bummed if that's the case. I really loved Henry Cavill as Superman. With that said, I don't think, I've said it several times before. I think Man of Steel had a lot of problems, especially at towards the end. I think BVS had a ton of problems, and I think Justice League had a ton of problems. All three of those movies, obviously, are the three movies that Henry Cavill's been in. And all three of those movies had a lot of good moments in them, but overall, they were kind of like letdowns. I think the majority would agree that they were letdowns, and DC could do better. Now, with that said, you're like, well, if you didn't like those movies that much, or you thought there was a lot of problems with them, why would you want Henry Cavill to stay as Superman? Because I think he is a perfect Superman. I just think he needs a better script and better direction. But I don't think there's anything wrong, because you can't blame, like, him, like, the big complaint Man of Steel is, he wasn't a beacon of hope like he's supposed to be. He's like, he gets mad at petty things, like that guy at the bar, and takes his 18-wheeler and puts it on a freaking light post. Like, Clark Kent would never do. Like, he wouldn't get mad at something that petty, nor would he, put a whole city in danger, even if this is his first outing as Superman. Because more so than Superman, like, Clark Kent is just a good person, and that translates to why Superman is a good person. It's just Clark is good at heart. So I don't buy the whole, like, oh, he has to learn, he's coming into being a hero. No, that's not the beacon of hope and light that we know from the comic books. So, but I can't blame that on Cavill, because that was the director and the script. He's literally a guy hired to read lines and, do what the director and, script tells him to do. But so if given a better script and direction, I think it would be perfect. I mean, he's very charming. He looks like Superman. He's got, I mean, he looks like Superman. He looks just like Superman. He looks fantastic in the suit. He could pull off. You see glimpses of pieces in, like, Justice League, especially, or even glimpses of Man of Steel, where you're like, oh yeah, just keep doing that, and yes, awesome. So I think he could do a great job. I just think it's the writers and directors' fault. So I'd be bummed to see him leave, because I just think he needs better direction, and then he would be, you know, uh, a fantastic a fantastic Superman. A lot of people would already say he is a fantastic Superman. I don't mind him as Superman right now. Again, I really love him as Superman. I just keep repeating myself. I just think he needs better direction and better writing. So if he is leaving, that's kind of sad, because I was hoping for, like, a flashpoint. I really think the best thing for DC to do right now, with Ben Affleck apparently leaving, and Matt Reeves looking for a new Batman, Henry Cavill apparently rumors he's leaving. You're that right there, you're losing, like, more than half of you're losing two of the three of the DC Trinity. So it's like, they're not going to reboot Gal Gadot Wonder Woman, because her movies are doing fantastic and everyone loves her. So you're in this weird flux with the DC extended universe, where literally two of your three most popular characters will have to be recast. And then you've already established Aquaman, you've already established Flash, you already got Shazam, who's in this universe, and you got Wonder Woman. So you have a bunch of your other A-listers that are still in this world, but then your Batman and Superman are gone. That's just weird. I think the only way to fix that is Flashpoint, 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 Flashpoint. With time travel, as you guys know, with Flash, you can do whatever the heck you want. You can just say, blame it on the time streams, and be like, oh, now that's why Bruce looks like this, or that's why Bruce is younger, or that's why this Superman looks like this, or now this is Earth 2 Superman. I think that's the only way to fix it, and not just kind of do a New 52 thing, where it's like a soft reboot, in the sense where the New 52, like, they picked and choose what they did and didn't want to keep. You're like, oh, okay, this is a great Batman story, so we're still gonna keep that in continuity. Oh, but this isn't. We don't like this so much, so we're not going to keep that. You know what I mean? That's basically what the New 52 did. With the time streams messing up, allowed them to cherry pick what they wanted to keep from past continuity and what they wanted to get rid of. And you could do that with the DC EU. So I think that's what they should do. So that's what I would do if I worked for Warner Brothers, but I don't. So here we are. Moving on to the last bit of movie news is DC again. Again. This last few weeks have been like DC crazy. Marvel's kind of been on the down low. I know had a little stuff with the Return of Wolverine in the comics, but as far as movies, they've been laying hush hush, minus the Captain Marvel trailer. But I already gave you guys my thoughts on that last week. Sorry, I need a swig of water. So, yes, the next bit of news is speaking of recasting Ben Affleck as Batman, John Hamm. John Hamm is apparently the online fan favorite to be Batman, and that's been going on for months right now. It's kind of resurfaced a bit in the comics on the internet. And it seems I think John Hamm actually went online saying that he's been in rooms where Warner Brothers executives talking about who they're going to cast as superheroes, but they never asked him. He would love to play Batman. The fans would love him to play Batman. The majority of the fans would love to play Batman. Am I one of those fans? I am not. I am not one of those fans. Now you'd be like, "What, Arris? Are you kidding me? He would look like the perfect Bruce Wayne. He played Don Draper. That's pretty much Don Draper in Mad Men. That is pretty much Bruce Wayne already. Just give him billions of dollars and all this fancy tech." My problem with that though is with these superhero movies, it's franchise, franchise, franchise. You need an actor who could play this character for at least 5 years, 10 if better, if you're gonna do, the Marvel thing and have like, this 10-year like arc. That would be ideal. John Hamm, I love John Hamm. I loved Mad Men. Me and my wife loved that show. Watched it, all the way from the pilot to the series finale. Don Draper was a great character. John Hamm, who played him, was awesome. He's also good in other movies. He was good in Baby Driver and a bunch of other movies he's in. I like John Hamm. Problem is he's 46, I believe, 46 years old. So if he was to shoot Batman tomorrow, it took 2 months. By the time it was released and we were seeing it in theaters, he would be 47. And that's just the first movie. Then you want to do a trilogy. By the time you're done with the trilogy, this guy could be like nearly, depending if they take a year or 2 year gap in between, nearly or over 50. So he could be like 51 by the third one comes out. So that's just a little nothing against like, oh, you're age shaming. No, it's just I don't think you got to look at the longevity of it, because they're not going to do, because if you just start doing things like Dark Knight Returns, which BVS basically already kind of did, you're coming towards the end of the run. So you got to think like, oh no, we can go a lot of places with this. Like where Robert Downey Jr., how many Marvel movies has he been in? So I think you need to cast someone a little younger, just because that was kind of my problem. I loved Ben Affleck. Well, yes, I liked Ben Affleck Batman a lot. There was some stuff I didn't like, not about Ben Affleck himself, just some stuff that again the directors and writers made him do, like blow people up in BVS left and right and not care about the killing role. That's neither here nor there. Um, but he's, Ben Affleck's older too, so that might have been problematic going down the line either. I kind of want to see a younger, Batman in his like early to mid 30s, like a Batman in his prime. That's what I want. I want a Batman in his prime, just taking names left and right. So I think they need to cast someone a little younger. That's my 2 cents. I was all for Jake Gyllenhaal. I think Jake Gyllenhaal is a fantastic actor. He always looks like he's kind of has like sad face going on, where she always looks like he's brooding anyway. It's like he looks like, yeah, my parents got shot in Crime Alley when I was a kid. I think he could pull that off perfectly. I think Jake Gyllenhaal would have been great. But obviously, no, he's actually in Spider-Man Homecoming 2, I believe. He's playing Mysterio, I think, is the rumor. I don't know if that's confirmed yet. I haven't seen that it's confirmed, but that's like the rumor, I guess. Or maybe it is. I could be dumb. There's lots of movie news going on. Don't judge me if I don't know every bit of it. But yeah, I think I wouldn't want John Hamm. I love him as an actor. He's great. I just think they need to cast someone younger. I think I want to see a Batman in his prime, kicking butt and taking names, and they'll have some more longevity. Because if they cast someone who's like 35, let's say the Batman franchise in DCEU gets their crap together and they're like super successful and the fans love it and the critics love it, and that whoever's Batman now is probably going to be Batman for the next 10 years or so. So by the time he's done, it'll be 45, and that's perfect, because then at that point you can cap it out to be like, oh, now we're around the Dark Knight Returns age where Batman's starting to go out, So in a perfect world, I know this is a tangent, this is what I would do. So you cast someone around Batman around 35, right? Then we get several movies and Justice League movies and movies where this Batman appears in other connected DCU movies for like 10 years. Basically do like a kind of Marvel thing. And then by that time, though, he's older and we kind of see him progress and get older. And then he's around 45 if all goes right 10 years later and doing the franchise. You start doing a Dark Knight Returns type thing or any kind of thing that basically brings Batman to the end of his career. Then at the end of that Batman movie or whatever movie where it's like, oh, this is Batman's last movie, you don't kill him off or anything like that. You allude to Terry McGinnis. And then from there, finally give us our Batman Beyond movie. Yes, all day, yes. And then you do a time jump for the Batman Beyond movie. So then you could cast Michael Keaton as Bruce Wayne, old man Bruce Wayne, and then have him mentor Terry McGinnis. Yeah. Yeah. That's what I would want to do if they were like, here's the keys to the DCEU Batman universe. That's what I would do. Yes. All day long. All day long. But that's my little rant on that. Staying in the Batman world, but going into comics. Batman Damned came out. That was a huge comic. It was the first title to launch on DC's Black Label in print, and the internet and late night TV has been a buzz of it. Not because of the story, not because of a cool like death or something that's happened in it, but it's all because they showed Batman's wang. That's right. The comic showed Batman's Batwing. uh since the internet went crazy about it for whatever reason, DC and the second Prince have shaded it out so you couldn't see his wang, his penis. And the digital stuff they've changed, the digital comics they've changed it as well, so they shaded it out so you can't see it as well. So you can only get it now if you have the first print of Batman Damned, because anything being printed or released going forward is blurring it out. Now, it's kind of funny to me this is making like such big news. I mean, I get it, but I don't get it. Like, I understand that like nudity is, especially with like characters who you wouldn't think you would see nude is like a big thing, in like media and stuff like that. But at the same time, it's kind of weird because like the DC Black Label imprint is intentionally, it was literally made to be a more mature imprint, to put stuff in there that's not necessarily for kids. It was to be a more mature imprint for older readers, as well as being able to do Elseworld type stuff, like that's not in main DC continuity or canon necessarily. So it was basically allowed them to do. Basically, it was like DC's out to do whatever the heck they want, whether they want to do Elseworld stories, whether they wanted to do a super rated R Batman comic, a Superman comic. That's what this imprint is for. So I don't know why it's all that shocking that like you did see Bruce Wayne's Batwing is what I'm going to call it, because it's like, yeah, it was an older, it's meant for older readers. Now I will say I do, I'm playing devil's advocate. I do understand though too, because I think this is the first time we've ever seen Batman's junk or Bruce's junk before. I don't see why we would have before, or if we have, but I mean, is my 2 cents. I'm like, yeah, I mean, whatever. It's like literally just there for me. Like, I don't think like it's this huge big deal, nor do I like, yeah, that's awesome. I'm like, yeah, they're just telling a story and that's something they decided to do. Like, when you're watching like Game of Thrones or a movie and you see someone naked, are you like, oh my god, they showed it, and you're just like, no, that's just what the art, what they decided to do. That's I really could care less. I don't, to me it's not that big of a deal. It's kind of weird, I guess. I mean it's that, don't get me wrong, it's not like I was like, oh, that's completely normal. I was just like, oh, all right, well, there it is then. So I'm just kind of like, yeah, whatever. I don't understand why literally like Stephen Colbert and like Seth Meyers, and it's literally making like late night shows they're talking about. I'm just like, yeah, okay, whatever. What about, I'm more concerned of like the story and the actual Batman Damn story. And funny enough, I haven't finished the whole thing. I read the first 30. It's I think it's 53 pages if I remember correctly, because I was reading on Comixology and you could check how many pages it is. 53 pages. I've only read 37 thus far. So I'm almost done. I'm more than halfway through it. But let's talk about that, like how the actual story is, because that's what's important about the comic, not Batman's junk. Yeah, I actually really like it thus far. I like how it's kind of a trippy comic though, because okay, let's start from the beginning. So this is not a spoiler because they actually gave a preview for this, but you find out within like the first 5 pages that the whole story is narrated by John Constantine, which is really, really cool. But I will say some of his narration, at least for me, was a bit, it's not hard to get through or like, oh, it's horrible. It's just like I found myself rereading it a lot because as you know, he John Constantine has a certain way of talking, he's from the UK, he's British, so he has, a certain accent and he says things, that especially reading it is maybe a little hard to understand, and that's very much how the writer wrote it. So I found myself kind of having to reread, be like, oh, okay. But it is good, and once you start getting into like what's kind of happening to Batman and stuff, and what's going on, and where this comic is gonna go, because it's definitely like it's a murder mystery basically, and it plays with you like Batman's head a lot in his psyche. So it's definitely like a more, I could see why it's on this Black Label imprint because it's definitely like a more mature comic. Like I don't think an 8-year-old is necessarily gonna understand what the heck is going on because it's not like just action, action, action type thing. It's definitely something it's a comic you have to think a little more about. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not saying this is like freaking like, like college literature. I'm just saying it's a comic that you have to think a little more about. It has more thought put into it than an average, just like, action, fun, run of the mill comic book. You know what I mean? So but I'm digging it so far. I like it a lot. I just want to see where it's going because I haven't finished the first issue. But I kind of left off at a part where it's a turning point for Bruce, where you kind of, as the reader, see what's kind of going on in his head in this mystery, because it's very much starts off vague, which is another reason why I could be saying that as far as the dialogue and stuff, because a lot of times like first issues and stuff, it's meant to be vague and it's setting stuff up until you later you go, you read the second, third issue and you're like, oh, that's why this was happening, or that's why that was said this particular way. I wasn't meant to necessarily understand it off the bat. So, thus far though, I'm digging it. I think it's a bi-monthly book, so the next issue is not going to come out till November. And I don't know how many actually issues this is. I actually thought it was going to be a one-off, but I was wrong. It's more than one issue. I think I don't even know. I would be talking out of my butt if I told you how many issues it is. But I'm definitely excited to read more. It's one of those stories I think the more you get in, the more you'd be like, oh no, this book is solid. This is a good book. I will say this is off topic though too, but the Red Hood, new Red Hood issue that came out last week that introduced the all new Red Hood was really, really good. More so how he got to that point was really, really cool. Like he had a falling out with Batman and stuff. I'm talking about it on Wednesday. I'll leave it for then. Last bit of news I want to talk about today, guys, is a Bumblebee trailer. The Bumblebee trailer came out and it looks awesome. I'm very, very excited. It looks like we're finally going to get a good Transformers movie again because personally, the first Transformer movie I still really like. The second one was okay, and then after that, it's kind of like, why Michael Bay? But this one, I'm excited for the franchise again, and I didn't think I would be saying that because I'm so tired of the Transformers movies. So I'm excited that this one looks good. This is a movie that if I was 10 years old, I would be losing my crap over. I'm like, yes, it looks like a solid kid family movie, and I think that's what this franchise needs to be. It's Transformers. It was literally a toy line that became a cartoon to promote said toy line. Like that was the reason for Transformers. Like that's why they exist. So I don't know why they got so far from that, where it was just a bunch of colorful metal you saw conjumbling, couldn't understand what was happening. Michael Bay, he overcomplicated it. So my biggest thing with this is like it looks like it's going to have a nice heartfelt story. Looks like it's going to be a fun film. You really love the interaction with Bumblebee and his new human. I forget her name. But more so than that, we're finally getting G1 looks, guys. Optimus Prime is in the latest trailer, and he has his G1 look. It looks so good. Soundwave, I believe, also has his G1 look. Everything on Cybertron, all the Transformers on Cybertron have their G1 look. And I'm like, why didn't you do this from the beginning? Why? It looks so good. Like simple, a lot of the time is better. Simple, like less is more. Less is more. It's a saying for a reason. Like you don't have to overcomplicate stuff because that's when it goes not good. So I'm just very glad we're getting G1 looks. I hope I know this is connected, I guess this is like a prequel movie, but I'm hoping like this will somehow reboot the franchise in a way also, because I would love going forward for this to be like, this is just like a soft reboot in the sense where if be successful and everyone likes what we're doing with this, we'll just be like, "Oh yeah, well no, this is just it's a prequel in the sense to where it's a prequel to all the stuff to come, not a prequel to what's already, what was already there." So because if you go forward and then give us like, a Cybertron movie, and then you see the fight on Cyber Battle for Cybertron, and they still have all their G1 looks, Optimus Prime, because you would have the G1 look for Optimus Prime, Peter Cullen, who original voice for Optimus Prime, Soundwave, dude. Yeah, take my money, take my money. Do that, and I will be on board for the Transformers franchise once again. That's what I would do. Okay, got whoa, weird. Had a weird cough there. I was about to say okay, guys, and my throat was like, no, you're not. You're gonna have a weird stutter cough thing. So that's what happened. No, but I was gonna say, guys, I'm gonna bring this to a close. Normally, I would do a Q&A, but I'm behind on doing episodes and stuff for you guys, and I know you guys need episodes coming out this week. I need to finish this Red Hood episode. I need to finish Saturday's episode, so I have to do that for all of you. So I will be back on Monday, not Tuesday next week. Monday, normal time, once again, and I'll finish with Q&A like I normally do. But thanks for tuning in and hearing me rant and chat about some of the comic book news that's been released the last week or two. But I'll see you guys on Wednesday for some all new Red Hood love. Later, guys.